5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
You are listening to The Bad Boy Radio Show with Mr. Locario and Miles Cunningham. This is that real shit, not that fake shit. The only radio show that's not afraid to tell you the truth about the game. This is The Bad Boy Radio Show. Remember, the truth is inside you.
All right, what up, people? What's popping? You are tuned into The Bad Boy Show with Mr. Locario and Miles Cunningham. Miles, what's popping, yo? What's going on?
What's going on? I'm chilling, man. Just out here working, getting it done. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
What's up with you?
I'm chilling, man. You know, trying to get shit popping so everybody could get what they need to get in the game. You feel me? That's what we do.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yep.
So today's show, guys, we're going to be talking about how you view women and how that determines your success with women. So we're going to get deep into the show. We're going to get real deep. You feel me? Because this is very, very important. You understand what I'm saying? For you guys to know. But before we get into all that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into some news, and that's what we're going to do. So you guys are listening to The Bad Boy Show. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com. All right, we are back on The Bad Boy Show. What's popping? What's going on? All right, so there's some stuff going on in the news, some shit, man, some shit. So this is like a whole bunch of weird shit. But anyway, so first thing, Nicki Minaj, her house got robbed for over I think $200,000. I think in jewelry or some other shit or whatever, but it was $200,000 worth of shit while she was overseas. Wow. Trying to work. She was overseas visiting Drake and Lil Wayne because they trying to, get their shit back together. You understand what I'm saying? And right. So the story is that everybody was saying that it was Meek Mill who did it. You feel me? So Meek Mill is like, yo, why the fuck y'all bringing my name up? You feel me? He's like, what would I need to rob her? Like, he's like, yo, I got mad money. I got mad jewelry. What the fuck I need to rob her for? You feel what I'm saying? But right. It's like, it's just funny though, because it's like Meek they just keep trying to give this dude L's. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this guy. Like, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And it's funny.
That's how it is when you try to be a real nigga, son.
Right, you know what I'm saying? But see, but it's fucked up because how like Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj broke up and all this other shit and yada yada yada. So there's all these memes and shit going around there's a picture with Drake and Nicki Minaj and they're like, oh, Drake is with your girl now and yada 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 and this and this and that. And the thing is like the thing that I don't like and Meek Mill sort of fucked this up too in a way is that Meek Mill, and this goes for any of you guys dealing with chicks. Yeah. Meek Mill made Nicki Minaj seem like really important. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to understand that women are important in the objective sense. You understand? But see, he was putting her on a pedestal because if you notice when they were together, like, he was always, oh, all these guys is hating on me because of my chick and blah, 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 my girl. And, and like floating her around and looking all happy to be with her and shit. You understand what I'm saying?
And he would put fucking do Instagram videos of her twerking on
right.
And shit. And
you know what I'm saying? So this dude he was basically treating Nicki Minaj like she was the prize. You understand what I'm saying? So, right. So when they broke up, everybody is looking at this dude like, yo, you taking another L. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like right. Now it looks like she's just sort of like, yeah, I'm done with you. I had my fun with you. Whatever, you go back into your hole and do what you do. You know what I'm saying? And it's right. Like it looks bad on him because he's been propping her up. You feel what I'm saying? Like right. Like what? If I was Meek Mill, what I would have done? I would have been with Nicki Minaj. Fuck the shit out of her, do what I gotta do, have some fun with her, and then if he was smart, he should have dumped her ass. You understand what I'm saying? He should have dumped her.
Lasted for more than 6 months.
Right. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Yo.
And you know what else too? He shouldn't have went on her tour.
Right.
He shouldn't have went on her tour. If she was having a tour, he should have started his own tour.
Right.
You know
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh man. I'm like, yo, dude. Exactly, because that right there is a you know, a physical representation of him following his girl. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's why
Drake, look, you know, there's a reason why this song that Drake made for that nigga were so effective.
Right.
Because on the real, Meek Mill was fucking up, son.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Meek Mill was actually fucking up. Like, the nigga Drake said, you know, shout out to all my boss bitches, wife and niggas.
Exactly.
Like,
and
that's exactly what happened. Like,
Right.
that shit ain't no joke.
Right.
That shit ain't no joke. Like, Drake, he hit the nail. See, that's what I love about Drake. Like, niggas can hate all they want.
Right.
But homeboy, son, he's on point, son.
Mhm.
Like, the nigga's on point,
Right.
son. Like, you could front on him all you want, but the nigga's on point, man.
Nah, Drake, you gotta understand something about Drake. Drake is a chameleon, son. That nigga know when to say what he needs to say, when he needs to do it, when he doesn't need to do it. You know what I'm saying? So he know the difference between some real nigga shit and some like simp nigga shit. Because trust and believe, Drake understands image. So he was like, you know what? Let me run with this like simp ballad type emotional shit and do that. You understand what I'm saying? But on the real, Drake just be fucking models and keeping it moving. You feel what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's like, because when's the last time you heard Drake have a girlfriend? You feel what I'm saying? Through his run of whatever the fuck he doing. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Why does Drake need a girlfriend? He don't need no fucking girlfriend. You feel what I'm saying? But Meek Mill on the other hand,
yo, truth be told, man, Drake is that dude, son.
Right.
Drake is that dude. Like, I would much rather Drake being president of the United States right now than Trump.
exactly. Pretty much. You never know. He might run soon. In a couple decades or something, you probably see Drake as the next president and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That would be cool with me.
You know what I'm saying? So
The Aubrey Graham campaign.
exactly. So I'm just like, man. But you know, that's what happened. Meek Mill took the L because he put her on the pedestal. And she was like, all right, I'm done with you. And now you looking crazy out here. You know how much more props and pussy and accolades Meek Mill would have got if he would have just been like, yo, we're done. You understand? And because imagine you dump Nicki Minaj. You understand? You dumping the chick that all these niggas trying to get with, all the chicks look up to, right? They gonna be like, damn, like what Meek Mill got that he feel he could do that, and that's gonna make him look even fucking cooler. To me, that would have got him the W, because you know he been taking the L's. I think that would have got him the W in the long run. You feel what I'm saying? Because then it would have made him look like, yo, you know, whatever, I'm doing my thing, yada yada yada, and mad dudes on the low would have had respect for the nigga, and chicks would have been fucking with him because they're like, oh damn, you know what I'm saying? like this nigga dumped Nicki Minaj, yeah, all that dumb shit. So, but you know, it's too late now. It's too fucking late now. You feel what I'm saying?
Too late now.
It's too late now. But anyway, it's
like another thing about Drake. I don't mean to be on the nigga like that, but
right.
You know you got game when you got niggas taking residual L's.
Right, exactly.
Because he basically announced what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
In the diss songs, and
right.
now it's actually happening. So it's
exactly.
Kind of like Drake is winning all over again.
Exactly. Because he said, yo, I don't want to hear this ever again, even when they say that they better as friends, yo. Like he was like, yo, and that it basically brought the song back. You feel what I'm saying? Yep. Yo, that's wild, B. Oh man, that's wild. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, Meek Mill don't understand strategy, man. I don't know. I guess he's just like whatever. But anyway, so in other news, there was a Florida woman who posted herself having sex at a Duval County courthouse. So basically, I think she was having sex with the guard, if I'm not mistaken. So like she went on Snapchat or Twitter, and then she showed herself giving head to this dude, and then she was wearing a dress or something, and she got on top of the dude, and then she started like, you know, riding him and shit. And this is like all in public. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know what the point of it was. I don't know like why there's like I don't know what the point, like what was good with that.
What state was this?
I think it was in Florida. Yeah, in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
And what was the nationality of the chick?
Oh, it was a black chick. It was a black chick, and she was pretty cute. She was alright. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know like what was going on with that situation though. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like,
right.
there's still no story of why she did it. Like I heard that there was a rumor that she was like a stripper or some shit like that, and then you know. That like that's her personal life or something, but I was just like that shit is funny. But you could Google that shit if you want to see the video of her, you know, giving head and riding some dude or whatever in the courthouse. You know, just Google that story and that shit should come up. You feel me? But yeah, that's crazy. It's all that background noise. I hear like mad shit in the background.
My bad. Hold on.
It's crazy, but yeah, like. You know, like, yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit, you know, going on in the news like that. And another joint that popped off was there was a woman who got kicked off a plane because she was showing too much cleavage, or that's allegedly why she got kicked off the plane, because she was showing too much cleavage. You understand? But what the plane company, I think the name of the company was Spirit or something like that, Spirit Airlines or some shit like that. But the girl, she came on the plane, she had some big titties and she was showing the cleavage. And so she was saying that they was trying to kick her off the plane because she was showing cleavage. But the plane company was saying, nah, we kicked you off the plane because you was drunk and you was being belligerent and yada, yada, yada. So the lady was on the news with her lawyers and shit, or her lawyer, and you know, they were trying to play the whole like, oh, I'm in such distress and you know, I feel so violated because they, you know, made me feel this way. So I think she's trying to play up the, you know, angle of like, oh, I'm feeling like messed up, so I'm trying to get some money out y'all motherfuckers. You understand what I'm saying? So I think she's going to try to sue these people for kicking her off the plane because her, you know, allegedly they're kicking her off because her titties was too big. You feel me? And you know, the chick, she, you know, she was thick. She had some big ass titties. I can't front. You understand? So, but I don't, you know, I don't think that's really why they kicked her off the plane. You feel me? I'm sure that it was because of that other reason. And she's trying to use the boobs as the, you know, the fucking reason. You feel what I'm saying? So that, you know, that happened. That stupidness happened. But anyway.
Yo, send me that link, son.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm gonna send you that link. It's crazy, man. I was like, yo, but yeah, she was cute. She looked like some Hispanic type chick or whatever. But you know, that was cool. And anyway, in other news, Pastor Daryl Scott was lying about Chicago gangsters wanting to meet up with Trump and, you know, squash all the beef in Chicago and all that. So what happened was, let me rewind this. So a few days back, Trump had some meeting with a whole bunch of black people, you know, quote unquote, talking about the issues of the community in Chicago and all this other garbage. And so this dude named Pastor Daryl Scott, which he's been in the news, you know, a few times, who he sort of supports Trump, or he, you know, is a black dude. He, you know, he sort of like, you know, converses with Trump and all this other shit. So he was basically in a meeting with Trump. And he said, like, you know, to Trump, like, hey, I got a phone call from some of the top gangbangers and thugs in Chicago. And they said that they, you know, they looking forward to having a sit down to talk about, you know, lowering the body count and yada, 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 yada. And then what happened was, they asked him again about it, and then he sort of backtracked, and he was like, oh, well, what happened was I didn't really say the gangs now. I was talking about like some old gang members that's older that hit me up and said this. So he's saying all this back and forth bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, my issue with the whole thing is, I hate that you got all these black people out here who's, you know, chilling next to Trump, but they don't know what it really is. They don't know what the real deal is. You feel what I'm saying? They don't know that, you know, they really trying to go in Chicago and do all this other stuff to really fuck up the situation. You understand? Because the situation's fucked up, but the situation's fucked up because it's, you know, the way that society is, and white supremacy has created the situation to be fucked up. And whenever you have a place where there's no fucking jobs or shit is not popping off, you're going to have niggas killing and robbing and doing all that other shit. You feel what I'm saying? So if they really want to help, niggas got to start putting some money up in that piece. You understand? Like going out there just lock up a whole bunch of people, and that's going to be any person who's black. You know, it don't matter if you're in a gang or not. That's the plan. But these idiots out here, like Pastor Daryl Scott, you understand, is out here on that bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's terrible. Ugh. Shit, it just kills me.
So you said the dude, what's his guy's name?
Oh, it's Pastor Daryl Scott. Is this light skinned dude? He looks like a mixture between Lloyd Banks and Brian Pumper. If you see his picture, like that's what that's what dudes be saying online. But yeah, he's out there shucking and jiving. Oh, it's so sickening. It's so sickening.
Well, it's crazy though, because I saw another news story about this black dude who he's like advocating for Trump. And then they did a news interview, and all of the facts about him on his website, none of them was true.
Wow.
Like, because was he a pastor, or they were saying something? Oh, they were saying like how he got a degree from a school, and they said that they called the school,
mm-hmm.
and he didn't even. I forgot I'm sorry, I don't have the guy's name, but they called the school. The nigga was there for one semester, and he wrote on his bio that he got a bachelor's from them and shit.
Wow.
And then, and then he said that the reason why everything was messed up was because somebody must have went on his because it was a website made by Wix.
Mm-hmm.
So he said somebody must have went on my website and hacked it and changed the information and
oh
blah,
my
blah,
God,
blah.
come on.
And then they contacted Wix, and Wix is saying there was no evidence of a hack.
Right.
So it's like everybody that got something to do with Trump is just, I don't know, son.
They're on some bullshit. Exactly.
They're on some bullshit. It's like, I mean, Trump is a dick. Like, let's be clear. He's a dick. Like,
right.
You know, he's, I don't know. I don't even know if the nigga know how to read. That was another story. That was another fucking story. They were saying that they don't know if Trump knows how to read on an adult level.
Wow.
You know
That's
what I'm saying?
wild.
But what I'm saying is the people around him though, like the people who support him,
mm-hmm.
it seems like they're not smart. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they showed you the other lady when they asked the lady about education and the difference between progress and growth, and she was just like giving them blank answers. And
wow. It's surprising how
she was supposed to be the fucking Secretary of Education,
right?
And they was asking her some simple ass questions, and she couldn't answer them and shit.
Right. Yo, it's surprising how, like, you know, you got people who are in high places, high positions, and they're just
right.
dumb as fuck. Like, yo, like, and I'm like, are you really dumb though? Because how you know what I'm saying? Like, they got to be some sort of different types of intelligence, because it's like. You dumb, but you ain't that dumb. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
right.
you smart.
And if you that dumb, how the fuck did you get there?
That exactly.
How did you get to that position.
So you must have some sort of social intelligence, maybe. Like, you know, you must know how to network really well, but you probably can't read. You feel what I'm saying? You probably know.
You probably what?
No, I was gonna say, you know, you probably know how to like talk to people, but you don't know what 2 + 2 is. You feel what I'm saying? So it got to be something like that, because I'm like, yo, how the fuck all these dumbasses be getting in these positions? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, god damn. I'm like, wow.
You know what I think? I think that a lot of the let me see, what's the word I'm trying to use? It's like the phoniness of white supremacy,
right?
Is showing its face now.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Because even a nigga like Donald Trump, like, you know, like I hope he makes the best decisions and shit, and he seems to be a successful businessman or whatever. But
right,
he got his start from the fact that his dad was already a millionaire.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's like, when you don't really have to work hard for what you got and what you know,
mm-hmm.
it's kind of like you don't really get those skills. You don't really get those skills that you might the skills that you acquire from like just hard work, trial and error, and experience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, working hard at school and reading books and all that shit. Like, all of that shit that the average person who don't have a rich father would have to go through to learn what they got to learn to build character and to build, you know, certain strengths,
right?
You know, that can get you, you know, like even if you want to change it to dating, like imagine, you know, some rich nigga who grew up in a neighborhood full of hot bitches,
right?
It's really gonna come easy because, you know, if you have a fucking dinner party or a pool party, it's nothing but bad bitches in your neighborhood and you live in a rich neighborhood. They're gonna come over, you know, bitches gonna come over, they're gonna say what's up. So you always around bad bitches and you don't really gotta try hard because your pops is rich and the bitches know you rich and they want to get with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like even a lot of times they even arrange shit like that where it's like you heard of a debutante ball.
Right.
So the rich families, they get all of their daughters to become these, like, you know, to become ladies. And then they make sure that these rich daughters, they make sure they go to the country club and they fraternize with the rich sons of the other families in the country club.
Right.
So it's like, you don't really have to work that hard to understand what it is to attract a bitch. Because it's like, that's just the arranged situation.
It's set up for you, right.
Now, a real dude who, you know, learn the game through trial and error and, you know, probably holler at the Bad Boy membership or listen to Mr. Lucario videos and go out there and try these different, you know, aspects of approach and you know, understanding who you are as a man and then going out there and asserting yourself and applying the knowledge and trial and error and understanding the game. You're different. Like, you're stronger than the person coming from an arranged, wealthy situation. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think that's a lot of what's coming out right now because Trump himself comes from a rich situation where he don't know nothing else. And a lot of the people that's probably in his circle who he's pulling in, they're in the same situation. They don't know what hard work means.
Right.
They don't know what it is to read a book from cover to cover because everything was explained to them. Everything was given to them. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Real talk. Real fucking talk. Because, you know, like since he's so used to that type of lifestyle and that, you know, getting shit like that, it's like, you know, let's say if he was to, you know, let's say for the sake of argument, you know, he fell off and then he had to like be like a regular nigga. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he loses the goddamn mind. You feel what I'm saying? But if a regular dude got to his position, he'll probably be in a little bit more of a, you know, refined state because he knows what it is to be a regular dude. You feel what I'm saying? So it's that type of shit.
I'm gonna give you an example real quick. All right, you remember the kid? There was a kid. I'm not sure if he raped a girl or if he killed somebody or what it was. I forgot, or if he robbed the store. But it was a white kid from a rich neighborhood, and he went to court, and the fucking lawyer got him off completely.
Right.
And they ruled that the kid was suffering from affluenza.
Right, I remember that shit.
So that kid is never gonna learn about the repercussions of his actions, my nigga. Never. You understand? But then you have somebody on the other end of the spectrum. You ever heard of this dude named Jay Real Estate?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, young black dude who he used to be a drug dealer, used to be, you know, out in the streets in New Jersey and New York, like, you know, wilding out, you know, selling drugs and flossing and all this shit, and he got caught, right? And he did like 3 years. He got hit with like a 3 to 5 because he had a lawyer. Luckily, he had a lawyer that could, you know, reduce his sentences. That nigga was probably gonna be in there for like over 10 years.
Right.
But he got a 3 to 5, and he got out after like 3 or 4. And the nigga started to invest in real estate, and now he's a fucking millionaire. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
A self-made millionaire at that. You understand? And he's doing fucking interviews and TV shows and radio shows and going around spreading his message about real estate and the power of real estate and black unity and all this type of shit. So the point I'm making is that you got the white kid that comes from white supremacy. He could go out there and fuck up the society and nobody will slap his hands for it.
Right.
But then when the black kid does something, he gets thrown in jail almost immediately. But if you give him a chance, because he learned from his actions, he could turn his life around and become something more than what he was before.
Right.
But if you don't ever learn anything because everything is given to you and nobody actually shows you the consequences of your actions, you'll never learn nothing. That's why again, to bring the conversation back to dating and dealing with women and shit, it's a good thing when you get rejected, son.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's a good thing when you get rejected because you get to understand, okay, well, this approach works on this type of chick or in this type of situation, and that approach doesn't work. And because if it all came easy to you, you wouldn't learn how to become a master of spitting game, and you wouldn't be able to develop a crisp mouthpiece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Because then let's say, for example, you're the type of dude who, let's say you have a lot of money, and then chicks be trying to fuck with you because they know you have a lot of money, and then you lose your money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then you can't do shit. This is the same reason why even when dudes talk about looks and all this other stuff, this is why guys who did, I did a video years ago called Pretty Boy Syndrome. And I was talking about how when dudes who are good looking expect women to just be into them because they're good looking, and then when they realize that the girl's not into them, they're like confused, and then they get a little insecure because they were looking for just the looks to be the main thing that's going to get them to pull chicks, because some chicks probably got with them because they thought they were cute. You understand? So they expect every chick to do that, and then when that doesn't happen, they're like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And they don't know what to do. You feel what I'm saying? Versus a guy who, he's like, he could be an average looking guy or whatever, or even a good looking guy, but they understand like, yo, I gotta learn how to, spit game. I gotta learn how to understand the game so that no matter how I look, you understand, if I'm a good looking guy or not, I can make shit pop because of the actual skill I got.
Happen.
You feel what I'm saying? And that's how it is, man. That's exactly how it is, man. It's fucking crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
It's just a sad game that these are now our fucking our elected officials. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Shit is wild. That shit is too wild, man. Oh, what else happened in the news where you said that a judge was stopping the Muslim ban? You tell us about that.
There's a federal judge in I think it was California. He blocked it. He blocked the legislation and lifted the ban. He's right now it's temporary.
Right.
So the ban is lifted for the next couple of days, because I think what it is they're trying to get people who are stuck over in those 7 countries who belong in America back over here, and then they're trying to get the people who belong in those 7 countries who are stuck in America back over to the 7 countries. So I think for the time being they lifted the ban. So people could get back to where they need to get to. And it's been a real crazy situation for a lot of people. Like, they were showing video of a whole bunch of Muslim people. They turned a terminal of the airport to a damn mosque.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Like imagine 60 to 100 people all praying in the middle of an airport terminal. And you got regular people trying to walk past to get to their gate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they kind of blocking the way by praying and all of this and all of that. It's real crazy what's going on, because he put the ban on just like that. And, because you got a lot of people who they're in the middle of, they got a work visa or a study visa. You know what I'm saying? So they're not meant to stay in America. They're not citizens of America, but for whatever reason, they're in this country for the time being. And it's like, if you do something like that, those people get stuck in the country, and it's really not cool. It's really not cool.
Right.
So, so the judge in Los Angeles, he put a temporary block on the Muslim ban.
Right.
So as of right now, Donald Trump's Muslim ban is not in effect. So they're still trying to work it all out.
Wow, that's crazy. Mad shit going on, man. Mad fucking shit going on in the world.
Again, one thing I'll give Trump, though, that he's a man of action. Like,
right. You got to give him.
He might not know exactly what he's doing, but the nigga, he's doing something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you got to. You got to give him props on that, because I appreciate, even though I don't like what he's doing, I appreciate that he said he was going to do something and he did it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That you got to respect that. You feel what I mean? Like, he's like, look, I'm trying to do this. I'm gonna make it happen, and he's trying to make it happen. So you can't. So and which is interesting, because now it's almost like you got to take him seriously. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what that's something important. You got you got to think about, because and again, let's take it back to when you're dealing with chicks. A lot of times dudes, they deal with women, and they'll act like they're gonna, you know, do something, or they'll tell the chick, oh, fuck you, bitch, I ain't fucking with you, blah blah blah, and then they'll call the chick back. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
so you, you know what I mean? So, you know, you gotta you know, stick to your word and keep that shit pushing. You feel what I mean?
Right.
And do what you got to do. So you got to be a man of your word. But anyway, so real quick before we go on break, I'm gonna get a subscriber email real quick. So
Yeah.
this one says, Mr. Lucario, I have a question. Is it true that women end up dating or marrying men who are similar to their fathers? If it is, could you explain this? All right. So yeah. So basically, like, the way that a woman views men generally is going to be how she, you know, viewed her father and interacted with her dad. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's like the first man, you understand, that she's been around.
Yeah, that's her first example of manhood. Yep.
Exactly. So a lot of times it's not necessarily like she's going to get a guy that's exactly like her dad, but there's going to be sort of like certain attributes that she might find in a guy that she's into that remind her of her father, because, you know, like, she attaches her sense of like love and, you know, attachment to a man through how she felt with her dad. So this is why sometimes when a chick, you know, doesn't have a dad, or like, you know, every chick has a dad, but if he's not in the picture, that's what I'm saying. Let's say he bounced or she never met him. You know, that can affect how she deals with guys. You understand? Because she's sort of like, you know, she's like has a yearning for male attention. You feel what I'm saying? And so since she has that yearning for male attention, a lot of times women like that end up dealing with guys who might not even be that great, just because she's basically thirsty. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're thirsty, you're like, I'll take anything. And then so these women end up trying to get validation through these guys, and it could be like guys who are assholes, guys who are on some bullshit, because she's just like, I need somebody, I need some love from any dude. And since she doesn't really have a relationship with her dad and hasn't had that experience growing up, instead of being able to relate to a man in a healthy way, she just relates to a man in a way where she's consistently trying to get validation through a guy. And then so even if a guy's treating her like shit or whatever, she's still gonna fuck with him. And a lot of times guys end up treating girls like that, like shit, because they can see how thirsty she is. They can see that they could do whatever they want and she's gonna come back and all this other stuff, because that's, you know, a guy be like, oh, fuck you, bitch, and this and this and that, and then she's running right after him because she wants that love. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, definitely the way that, you know, a woman, you know, how the relationship she has with her father, or, you know, if she hasn't had a dad around, could affect, you know, her relationships with other men. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, so that's why.
And usually these are the type of chicks that when you're fucking them, she'll say, fuck me harder, daddy. Exactly.
And that's why sometimes it's good to, when you're talking to a girl, to ask her relationship with her dad. Like, yo, you know, like, how's your relationship with your pops?
Right.
Then you could get some insight on, you know, what's up with this chick. You feel me? But listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into the topic. We're going to be talking about how you view women. You guys are listening to The Bad Boy Show. Do you want to learn the easiest way to have more sex with more women? Then get the critically acclaimed book, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day. In this book, you'll learn everything you need to know about attracting and sleeping with beautiful women. That's How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day. Get your copy today at MrLocario.com. That's MrLocario.com. MrLocario.com. Are you an actor who needs headshots? Do you have an event or a wedding coming up and you need a photographer? If you do, make sure you go to PavionPhoto.com. Pavion is a professional photographer who will supply you with high-quality video and photography services for any event. Contact him at PavionPhoto.com. That's PAVION Photo.com. PavionPhoto.com. All right, and we are back. We are back on The Bad Boy Show. What's poppin', people? So today we're
Yeah.
going to be talking about, you know, how you view women and how that relates to your success with women in the dating game. So what are we talking about when we say how you view women, right? So basically we're talking about, you know, all across the board, meaning you're going to have some guys who they're going to view women like, oh, you know, like women, they put women on a pedestal. They're like, women are every, like sugar and
Like Meek
spice.
Mill.
Exactly. Like Meek Mill putting their girl on the pedestal, you know. You're going to have guys who just like hate women, period. They're like, fuck these hoes. These bitches are evil. There's nothing good about them, and yada yada yada, you know, and all that other shit. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so, unfortunately, some of like the MGTOW dudes lean to that type of thought process. You understand? Where it's just like, yo, these chicks are evil spawns from hell type shit. You feel what I'm saying? Now, not all MGTOWs, but there's a lot of them that lean to that direction. You feel what I'm saying? Then
Right.
you have guys who view women as non-sexual beings, meaning, you know, oh, women don't have sex like that. They look for a guy that they like. They wait. They need to make a guy wait. You know, they need to get to know a guy first, yada, yada, yada. Then you got guys who look at women as they're just, you know, all of them are just sluts. They're all hoes. All of them is fucking and sucking every 5 minutes and yada, 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 and this and this and that. You understand? So there's a lot of like extremes of how guys will look at women. You understand? And what I want to say is that women are like all of those things combined. You understand? You're going to have chicks who are, you know, you know, you can have one chick who she's a cool chick, but also, you know, she could be on some bullshit. You understand? And then she could be the type of chick in 1 minute she's like, yeah, I'm going to, you know, get to know a guy and blah, blah, blah. And then the next minute she could be fucking sucking some guy she just met 20 minutes ago. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is that when you're interacting with women, you have to understand that, you know, you have to be open to understanding that women are human beings. You understand? And don't sort of try to, you know, look at them in this one sort of image. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing is that when you look at a woman in one sort of image, that affects how you come at the game and how successful you're going to be in the game. You understand? Because let's say, for example, you might be the type of guy who thinks that women just like, you know, really good looking guys who have a lot of money. You understand? If that's your view on women, then if you're not a guy who has a lot of money or is that good looking, then how do you think that's going to affect how you interact with girls? You understand what I'm saying? You're going to always constantly think that, oh, well, girls don't like me. You know, I'm not enough. Well, I'm not that good looking. So maybe I need to get more money. So if I get more money, then I'll get more girls. So now you're going on this journey of trying to get more money or getting a lot of money in order to attract women. You feel what I'm saying? And then so that's going to affect the success that you have, because now you're passing up on a whole bunch of women you could have got because you think, well, I got to have a whole bunch of money. I got to do this. I got to do that. You feel what I'm saying? And that all came from how you view women. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to really, you know, understand how that works and put that in check. You feel? So also, like, let's say, for example, you view all women as fucking psychos and, you know, they're all evil and shit. You understand? And I've read a lot of articles about like a lot of dudes who are like MGTOW dudes or whatever, and they're like, oh, you know, you can't have sex with any women anymore because as soon as you have sex, they're gonna say you raped them. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm just like, okay, yeah, that actually happens. I'm not saying it doesn't, but again, when you understand game and shit, and you understand, you know, how different things operate with women, you can sort of peep out how certain women are so that you don't really, in a lot of cases, put yourself in those situations. Meaning, like, if this is why we always say, we say you got to deal with women who are cooperative, who cooperate, who are showing that they actually want to get with you and get down in a way that they're making it smooth and easy for it to go down, versus a chick where you're sort of trying to, you know, like, convince her, or she's like 1 minute she's like yes, next minute she's no, and that's the type of chicks that you got to look out for, that will be on that bullshit. But the thing is that if you view all women as, oh, they're all crazy and you know, they're gonna say that I did this and did that, then that's going to affect how you're able to get sex. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. And another thing is you're actually you're operating off of fear, and that's
Right.
really never a good thing.
Right. Exactly.
Because sometimes the fear of something will put you in that situation, whether you want to or not.
Right. 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 You know what I'm saying?
Look, check out the hypothetical. You walk in on the campus, and you see a chick, passed out on the side of the bench on campus.
Right.
Right? And then you go over to her because you're like, oh my God, rape is so prevalent and everything is so fucked up. And then you go over there because you a simp. And you try to fucking oh, wake up, what happened to you? And blah, 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 let me help you. And then you're the first face she sees when she wakes up.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, oh man, my vagina feels funny. I feel like I got raped.
Right.
It's probably that guy that came to help me, which was you. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the nigga that actually did rape her, he's long gone. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But because you're operating off of fear, you're making stupid decisions, which will actually get you into trouble and bring those fears to you regardless.
Mm-hmm. Real talk. That shit's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's a lot of stuff is, how you view the situation and how you see the situation. And the best way to view all these things and to see all these things is to understand that all of these things are possible. You understand what I'm saying? You have to look at when you're dealing with women as you're not just dealing with a one-dimensional, being. You understand what I'm saying? You have to understand that, and that's going to make it a little bit easier for you. So this is, this is what always messes up a lot of guys when we talk about, viewing women and everything like that, is that a lot of guys are under the impression, and I talked about this in another video, they're under the impression that women, don't have a lot of sex. You understand? Or if a woman has a lot of sex, then she's a whore and she's a slut. So they have this thing where they try to separate the quote unquote good girl from the quote unquote bad girl. You understand? And then, again, that also has connotations of why is the good girl good because she's not fucking, and why is the bad girl bad because she is fucking, and yada, yada, yada. But the thing is, they try to separate this good girl and bad girl thing, but every girl is quote unquote the good and the bad girl mixed in one. You feel what I'm saying? So her sexual, exploits and situations all are dependent upon the situation and the guy she's dealing with. So this is why sometimes you can meet a chick and she'll tell you some shit like, oh, I want to get to know you because yada, yada, yada. And she could actually really mean that literally in that moment. Like, yeah, she wants to get to know you because she thinks you're cool. And, in her mind, oh, I done fucked and sucked all these guys last week and none of them call me back. So I really like this guy, which is you. So I want to take my time with you. I want to get to know you, blah, blah, blah. But see, from your perspective, if you've been interacting with women like that, on a continuous basis, you think that all women are like that, meaning you think that all these women are just trying to get to know guys and having to wait, even though that girl that's telling you, hey, we have to wait, is the same girl who was fucking and sucking a couple of dudes last week. You understand? But then when you approach women and you talk to women, right, when you want to get your dick sucked tonight or, sooner than later, you think that it's, hard to happen or it's impossible to happen or it's a rare occasion. So then you approach and talk to women and interact with them in a way where you think you have to go about it in a slow manner. You feel what I'm saying? So then you start to, go to the interaction thinking, oh, well, hey, let me get your number and I'll call you and take you on a date. And that's fine to call a chick and take her on a date, but you could have actually had sex with her that night. But in your mind, you don't think women usually do that. So the way that you think you need to get her number and take it slow, because that's what you've been running into, is women telling you that they want to take it slow. So that's become your reality of when you're dealing with women, even though all these women that said, let's take it slow, they fucked and sucked a whole bunch of dudes, but you're giving off a vibe of a guy who they should take it slow with. And that's because you are coming at them in a situation like that, because you think that's how women are. You see how it goes back and forth? You feel what I'm saying? Like, you're giving off that vibe of a guy that feels like he needs to take it slow. So then they're giving you that energy of a woman that's saying, yeah, I want to get to know you, because you're giving off a different vibe than a guy who she would have just fucked that night. But you're not giving off the vibe of a guy who she could fuck that night because you don't think that could happen. You see what I'm saying? You see, it's like, yo, the energy is so real in this shit that people don't understand. It's so fucking real. You understand? Because, like, if you giving off that vibe that you're, you know, this guy that she should get to know and wait, that's what she's gonna do. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're giving off that energy. So a lot of it comes from the way that you view women and your beliefs, and then your beliefs are keep being reinforced by you running into women saying, hey, you know, I need to get to know you, and yada 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 yada. You know, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But you know, but the thing is that when it comes to how you view women, and this is the main thing, one of the main things, and Miles, you said this a long time ago, and it's like, I think dudes need to like put this on a t-shirt, or we got to get it on like, you got to get a banner on your bedroom wall or something. But you have to understand that she's a female. You understand what I'm saying? You have to understand she's a female. And when you understand a woman is a female, then what's going to happen is that a lot of these things that women do are going to make a little bit more sense to you, and then you're going to be able to accept it better. You understand? Because a lot of times, if you think that, okay, well, you're like, well, you know, women, they're going to just do this and this and this, right? But you're only getting half of the story. You feel what I'm saying? And when you get that half of the story, when they do the other half, they do the opposite or whatever, you're confused because you didn't look at the whole picture. But at the same time, when a chick is doing something crazy or doing something weird or whatever, you don't necessarily need to get upset or whatever, but you got to understand that she's a female and that's what she's going to do. So a lot of times, if you're the type of guy who views women also, and this is another way guys view women, and a lot of manginas view women like this, is that they view women as 100% equal to them. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the thing that causes this type of shit. You feel what I'm saying? Where you're not understanding that she's a female. You feel what I mean? So, and I've always
said, Mr. Lucario, are you saying that men and women are not equal?
Exactly. They're not fucking equal. And this is the thing. No, and this is the thing. Men and women are equal and not equal at the same time. See, and that's the part that confuses motherfuckers, because you're equal because you're a human being. You feel what I'm saying? Right? But
right.
That's probably where it stops in a lot of cases. You feel what I'm saying? But the point is that you're not equal because you're different types of human beings, and there has to be that balance of those different types in order to make the shit go down. You feel what I'm saying? So there's an equalness and a not equalness in the realm of that one thing. And so you got to understand that if you view women as 100% equal, meaning like all across the board, they can do anything you can do as a man, that's when you fucking up right there. You understand? And so you get confused because you know you're in a society that it's like, oh well, women, girl power, we can do anything you can do. And how come because I had this lady on fucking Facebook the other day. We were going back and forth, and you know she was saying some shit about, oh, you know, how come a man can't just stay home and then his wife bring home all the money and this and this and that. And I'm like, yo, you know, those situations happen, and you know, it is what it is when it does happen. But what I'm saying is that that's not the actual natural or ideal state for the relationship to be in, because a woman doesn't want a man who's going to follow her. You understand what I'm saying? And a man should be doing what he needs to do, and the woman needs to follow that program, because then that helps both of them out. You feel what I'm saying? But she has this thing where she's like, but men and women are equal, so we can do anything and we can make it happen like that. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. You understand? So, you know, and then guys get confused by viewing women as equal because they're listening to women, you know, talk all this equal shit. You feel what I'm saying? And women are only talking this equal shit because of their ego. You feel what I mean? Because they think that being equal to a man is better than not being equal to a man. You feel what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's fucking crazy. But again,
right. If
you view women as equal 100%, then that's going to affect how you know your game. Because what's going to happen is, this is the part that annoys me about women, because you would think that you can just go up to a girl and say, hey, you know what, you're a chick, can you just tell me about you so we can make this shit easier? You understand? Can you just tell me about yourself and what the fuck you like and don't like and what you want and what are your expectations of me as a man? What's gonna make you tick? What's gonna make you want to fuck me? What's gonna make you want to actually go along with the pro? What is it? You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
And she's like, oh, but you know, I want a partner that's going to be equal and this and this and that and blah, 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 blah. So then you're like, okay, well, let's be equal. And then you listen to that shit. And then for some reason, she can't even explain it to you. She's like, something doesn't feel right. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? And it's the reason why she's not feeling it is because you fucked up the natural situation by listening to her and trying to be equal when it's not equal. You understand what I'm saying? It's just not that way. It's never going to be that way. There's no way it's going to happen. I don't care what anybody says. This is literally in nature. And I think we talked about this on the other show the other day. It's literally in nature. You can't have this without that. You feel what I'm saying? You don't know what this is without that. You don't know what that is without this. So how the fuck is a man and a woman going to be the exact same shit? And like there needs to be the yin and the yang. You can't have that shit where it's like, oh well, you know, it don't work that way. So again, when you're looking at chicks on that type of level, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing the woman a disservice because she don't want that shit. As much as she says she does, she's just talking from ego. She's just talking because she feels, again, feel is the you know, in capital letters. You understand? She feels like, oh, it's not fair and it's not supposed to be fair. You feel what I'm saying? It's not supposed to be fair because the unfairness is what makes the shit go around. You feel what I'm saying? All that fair shit, like it being fair. Yes, it's fair as far as I'm gonna treat you with respect as a human being, but also a part of me treating you with respect as a woman is me leading you. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the thing that, you know, guys got to understand is that don't get caught up in that viewing women as equal and then you start treating them like the same way you're going to treat your boy or, you know, or giving her the same type of, you know, things that you would do for yourself. It ain't the same thing. It's not the same thing. Women are not wired like that, like how we are wired. You feel me?
Right.
So, you know, you got to understand that shit, man.
I wanted to say something too that, when you're thinking about how you view things, right? If you even listen to the statement, it's how you view them.
Exactly.
So the thing is that everything begins with you. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So the thing you really gotta understand before you start thinking about how you view shit is you gotta understand you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now, and I'm gonna give you an example of how it works with these chicks. The reason why you gotta understand you is because you have to understand what you want before you even approach a girl. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? You have to understand what you want before you even approach a girl. So when you approach her, and if she is going in the direction that you like, that you consider is what you want, then you know, okay, this is the chick that I should pursue something with.
Right.
But if you go in the direction where if you ask her a question and she goes in the direction of like, you know, she starts being what's the word? She starts resisting and being uncooperative, then you leave it alone.
Right, exactly.
Because you have to understand something about yourself, is that you don't really have time to waste with somebody that's not for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the truth. You don't have the time to waste with somebody that's not for you. So to give you an example, it's like, I saw this one of these other pickup artist niggas talking shit. He was like, you know, he said something that I know about myself is that I like chicks who are, you know, are a little bit open-minded. And when I say open-minded, I mean freaky. You see what I'm saying? Right. So he says he goes up to the girl and he asks her a question. He says, "Do you know who Rihanna is?" And she says, "Yes." And he says, "Would you go down on Rihanna, or would you let Rihanna eat you out?" You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So he says he usually gets three different answers. He gets either like ill, or he gets maybe, or he gets hell yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So he knows whenever he gets an ill, he knows that it's time to exit the conversation.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But all of that goes back to how you understand you.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It really has less to do with the chick and more to do with you. So you have to have your agenda and you have to be steadfast. Like I was talking before, you have to be a man of your word. You have to really be a man of your word with yourself first.
Right.
So if you say to yourself, man, I'm going out here because I want to get my dick sucked tonight. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get into a conversation with a female and start talking about fucking, your term papers and what's happening in politics.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
You see what I'm saying? You have to remember what your agenda is, and you have to say, any conversation I have with any chick tonight is gonna be sexual because I'm trying to get this done. I'm trying to get something popping off tonight.
Right. Exactly.
That means you should be having really short conversations until you find that chick that's on the same page as you are. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Any other like you should literally be walking up to chicks and like, hey, what's up? My name is Miles. What's yours? All right, cool. Yeah. So how do you feel about sucking dick? Like seriously. No, I'm dead serious.
I love it.
And the truth is, you really shouldn't care what she thinks and how she, because you're gonna find a couple of chicks that's like, ew, how could you let that be the first question you ask me? I just met you with. No, be like, look, I'm looking for a chick that she's comfortable with that being the first question I ask her.
Exactly.
If you ain't that chick, then peace.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But that all comes back to you. That all, if you know for sure that you ready to find a chick. Like me, I know I'm not that type of nigga, because if you the type of bitch that you ready to suck my dick as soon as I meet you, then like I because I just at the age that I am, I'm kind of like I'm not as daring as I used to be. When I was young, yeah, I fucked a few bitches on the same day that I met them, and that's cool.
Right.
But at this point in my life, I'm just not there. But that's why I'm talking to you young cats. Like, if that's where you at, then damn it, that's where you at, and you shouldn't apologize. You shouldn't feel no way, because that's the first thing these chicks is gonna do. Even the chick that wants to suck your dick as soon as she sees you, a lot of them is gonna still do the same shit.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, they're gonna try to shame you. They're gonna try to, oh my God, you're disgusting, and how could you ask me that, and blah blah. Be like, listen, bitch, and that's when you gotta really pay attention to their body language. Because like I said, there's gonna be a couple chicks that's gonna be their reaction, but on the low, they still want to suck your dick.
Exactly. Right. Right.
So a lot of times you can't even listen to what these bitches are saying. And again, that's because you're so steadfast and concrete in your agenda and what you're about.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you could just stand there and just smile as she's yapping, talking about, oh my God, you're so nasty. Why would you ask me that? Just stand right there, calm and cool, and be like, and just be like, yo, are you done? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when she finished talking her shit, just be like, yo, are you done?
Mm-hmm.
and then see what she say. And if she's still if she's still standing there talking to you, then if you pay attention to her vibe or her body language, she might be that one that might be sucking your dick that night, even though she said all that dumb shit before. You see what I'm saying? Now, the chick that cussed you out and yells at you and walks away, more than likely that's not the type of chick that's not that chick. You understand?
Right.
But because a lot of times what's gonna happen is when you really steadfast in your agenda and you let a perfect stranger know exactly what you're about, and it's not like the average thing. You what it is you have to give them some time to adjust to the shock of your reality.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So and this is some advanced game I'm giving right now. So a lot of times that's why it doesn't make sense for you to be afraid of pushing your agenda. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense to be afraid, because you're gonna meet some people that fuck with it. You're gonna meet some people that don't. Your job is to try to find the ones that fuck with it.
Right.
It's like any one of these politicians. That's why they call it campaigning. That's why they call it campaigning, because you're basically you're a guy out there searching for something from these chicks. Just like a politician is out there searching for a vote from these constituents. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They're not. When Donald Trump came out and said, "Yo, I want to build a wall, I want to get jobs, and I want to stop all this Muslim bullshit." He's not afraid. Like, he's not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that nigga straight up came out and said, "Yo, black people, y'all should vote for me because y'all ain't got nothing to lose."
Right.
And that shit is, I mean, it's almost like a backhanded insult. But the point of the matter is, the man, that's how he truly feels.
Mm-hmm.
And he campaigns like that. Like, he's not what he know that some people are gonna understand what he's saying and they're gonna vote for him, and then other people are not. But
Right.
why is he afraid of the people that he's not afraid of the people that are not? He's just concentrating on the people that will vote for him.
Right,
You understand
exactly.
what I'm saying? Just like how when you going out there, you push your agenda to these bitches, and you concentrate on the bitches that will subscribe to your agenda. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And
again, like I said, that all starts with you and how you view your shit and how concrete and steadfast you are with your agenda.
right. And you know what's important too is that, like, because, like, you know, if you're the type of, and this is why you need to understand that women are sexual beings. You understand? Because if you understand that and you say, yo, well, you know, I want to have sex with these girls, and you understand they're sexual beings and they actually want to fuck, and they would actually fuck you on the same night and all this other stuff, then it's going to be easier for you to do that, like Miles was saying, to just go up and say what you got to say, because you view them as the type of women who will do that now. You feel what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
once you understand that, then it's easier for that to go down, because it's like this. It's like if you said, oh, I want to get you know, some pizza or something, right? And you see like a McDonald's restaurant, you're probably not gonna go in the McDonald's restaurant to get pizza because you don't view that restaurant as having pizza. You feel what I'm saying? So there's not going to be no action of you going there to get that. You feel what I'm saying? So if you view women as, oh, well, you know, they're not going to do that, they're not going to just have sex with me, then you're not going to go up to the woman and say, yo, let's make this shit fucking happen. You feel what I'm saying? And the same thing with, like, even with we use the example of Donald Trump, was that he viewed, or he understood that there's an audience out there of white supremacists. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Who's going to go along with the type of shit he's doing. So he's like, yo, this is how I am anyway. And so I know that there's going to be a section of people who's going to be fucking with me. So I'm going to do what the fuck I'm going to do. Same thing is that you say, look, I view myself as the type of guy who wants to fuck a whole bunch of chicks. And I know that there's a bunch of chicks out there that I want to fuck. So then I'll put one and one together, and we make this shit fucking happen. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but it all, again, it like you were saying, Miles, it goes with how you're viewing yourself, and also understanding on a grand spectrum of how women are and how you see them. Because if you see women as these little delicate flowers, these victims that they got to get away from the big bad men who's trying to fuck them, and you got to be nice to them because, you know, women want you to buy them flowers and all that goofy shit, then you're going to, be on some other bullshit. You understand? But if you're like, look, I'm a grown ass man, you understand? You're a grown ass woman, right? And, you know, let's make something happen. Period. And then if she's cooperating, you keep that shit going. If she's not, you keep that shit moving. It's really that simple when you boil it down to it. You feel what I mean? So, you know, that's what it is, man. But anyway, we are running out of time. Anything else you want to say, Miles, before we get out of here?
They need to visit the Bad Boy store.
Mm-hmm.
They need to visit Magnificent. I mean,
we got too much shit. That's what we got.
yeah, that's what we got.
We got too much fucking shit.
Bad Boy Store, Undeniable Game, Bad Boy Membership.com, all of that shit.
Exactly. Visit all the .coms. Also, make sure you guys click the link below to get tickets to the Bad Boy Seminar, which is coming out March 25th, 2017. In New York City. I want to see all you guys in the spot. We're going to be in Times Square. It's going to be off the fucking chain. So you guys make sure you click that link below to get your tickets now, because space is limited. All right. So that's pretty much it. We are out of here, people. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. We gone. Later.
Peace. Later.
Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.